Where'd you like to start? Runs or numbers? So far for the month, we're at $73,169. Last month we finished at 77, so we're about 4,000 short of exceeding last month, and we've still got two pay dates left. Run volumes, I think, right at 149 for the month. Other than that, on the breakdown here, from last month, our average transport distance is down by about 2 miles. Average response is up by a fraction of a mile. Floyd's still 42% destination. St. Vincent this month has been 39%. Clark's been nearly 11. Harrison 2.3, and all the other surrounding hospitals have correlated together to equal the other 5.56. Average on-scene time for the entire county is 9.5 minutes. Run volume's up 29% from projection from June, or July was up from June. August is projected to be up about 8%, just the way we're trending. Like I said, July finished with 77,150. So far this month through today, we're at 73,169. We still do have 2 pay dates left, one next Thursday and then one on the end of the month. They may tie that end of the month one into one payment instead of being 2, just because they're going to be back to back. The beloved chase vehicle, 151 runs so far. Out of those 151, 106 of those have performed ALS procedures. 7 RSIs have been performed on it, or about 8.25 minutes quicker than a duty truck on average. 21 air ambulances initiated from it. In response to your social media stuff, 1 person has been terminated this week. Some of you know that, some of you don't. Full-time spots are fully staffed. My deputy director pick will be taking place next week. Training, Steve can kind of piggyback off any of this if he wants. It is up and running. So far we've had no dropouts, no failouts, no nothing. Income for that so far has been $34.40. That exceeds our break-even point, and we've still got about $5,500 out there in outstanding balances just because we do allow payments. Is there anything you want to hit on?
Students are doing good. It's still kind of too early to really justify as far as to see where they're at as far as the grades go. All seem to be real positive. We're actually a day ahead of.
What course will that? How long of a course will that be?
It will end November 25th.
November 26th?
25th.
25th.
The week before Thanksgiving.
Sounds good.
Hospital, we've had 54 requests from St. Vincent. We've been able to facilitate 35 of those. As we had spoke before, those requests were becoming more and more frequent. We've assisted with some, and some of them we haven't. We have all discussed the issues previously, and we're kind of waiting your guys' direction on that one. I know it's going to be a process, so it's going to take some time.
Have those calls increased more than since the last time we spoke about all this?
I'd say they're staying pretty consistent, averaging 4 or 5 a week, probably.
Okay.
If not a little more one week, a little less the next. I'd say at least 4 or 5 a week would probably be a pretty solid number.
How many transfers are they, Nick?
Everything from a very basic run to legitimate needs to go now runs, and those, if I have the trucks, we are facilitating for. The non-urgent ones, we are not.
Where basically are they asking you to transfer to?
Typically Floyd seems to be the preferred destination.
Yeah.
There's been a couple Clark, there's been some Wellstones, depending on the type of runs.
But nothing in Annapolis?
I think we had 1 request over the last month to go to Indy. That was a no. Truck status, on-call's been called up 12 times this month, county standby's been 14 times this month, on top of the 12 times for on-call. Considering we're 20 days in, it's a pretty good indicator that we're asking at least once or twice a day on, in correlation with the on-call and county coverage. Between the on-call and county coverage, they've taken a few runs for us this month between the third truck or another county. So there's that to consider. Trucks are still in rotation for maintenance. No real major issues to report. We've got some, day-to-day, daily maintenance, routine maintenance that needs to be performed. We've got scheduled for tomorrow, I believe. And Mr. Rondell, you asked for mileage and stuff on the trucks. That is, as per this morning, those mileages are.
I know that changes daily.
Yeah, those will probably go up, those have the potential to go up 1,000 or 2 miles by Monday. But 0825 is one of our primary trucks. It's got right at 140,000. That's one of the 2017 remounts they did. 3606, obviously, judging by the mileage, is the truck that we received in May. And we're already at 11,000 on it. 0195 is the sister truck to 0825 that they received as a remount in 17. That's at nearly 160. 0872 is that 2014. That's at 181. And 0622 is, I believe, the 2004 diesel. That's at 170. As far as functioning, all of them are up and running. One of the trucks needs some tire addressing, and like I said, we'll be taking care of that tomorrow as soon as we can get it in. Parking lot we've discussed. Gutters got fixed by Tony yesterday. He pushed everything out, sealed them. Guess we'll find out tomorrow and Saturday if it holds. I know the backside, which he said was really rough, so he said that was a concerning area, so we're going to let him know what that does. And if there's anything you need from me or my crew, let me know.
I talked to Jim Freeman yesterday. Jim said overall, I think National is down 28 to 36, and it looks like you're above that, so I commend you on that part of it.
Thank you.
So, it's not like we can go out and solicit business. We hope not.
Probably wouldn't be in our best
It
interest.
kind of makes us morbid when we talk like this.
Yeah.
My question is, you and I had talked about the collection company that we're currently using. I know you had mentioned to me that there was about $1.7 million sitting out there in past due collections, and that this company has only collected roughly a little over $100,000 for us, which was around 8%.
So this isn't just my tenure here. This is all the accounts that are sitting in collections. We have a little over 1.7 million sitting in collections for the entirety of the accounts. And over the entirety of the accounts, that collection company has collected $156,000. I pay them per account just to be open, and I also pay them on their collection as well. So for the accounts to be open, I'm paying them $1 a day, or $1 a month, excuse me. So if we've got...
Can you break down that 1.7 to say how many accounts are open then?
Right now there's active phase 1 and phase 2, which mean like they're in the collection process of people calling or whatever. We had right at 2680, I believe, is how many accounts we had. Now, that doesn't, once they fall off into delinquency, that doesn't get subtracted from that 1.7. So it's not a very good system, but it's the only system I've got to go by.
Are we still charged $1 per month?
Not for the ones that fall off, or that are paid, or any of that stuff, no. It's just for the open phase 1, phase 2 collections that we're charged $1 a day. Or $1 a month, excuse me, $1 a month.
Is that in phase 1, or is that?
That's combined. It's combined.
Combined, okay. But you don't have a breakdown for phase 1 or phase 2?
I can get that, I just didn't. It's my fault.
No, I'm thinking that'd be $2,680. If we had to pay total, that's not right.
No, I mean...
Whatever would be still in phase 1.
Correct. Our phase 1 is less than... what we're paying on is less than... I'd say less than $200 a month.
So probably about 10% of those are in phase one, less
Yeah.
than 10%.
Yeah. I think the last one I turned into was about $144, I think, for the thing. I'll reaffirm that.
Dick, this 8% amount that's recouped, you said 156,000.
Mhm.
This is pretty typical of what's happening nationwide. I mean, we're pretty much in line. In other words, there are just lots and lots of runs that we make that just aren't collected for.
I just wanted to make sure you guys were good with that collection rate. I know there's some companies that do worse, some that do better.
What's the norm?
Average right now is about 12 to 14%.
So we're not getting utilized where we need to be then?
I'd say those numbers aren't during COVID.
You feel like they're aggressively going after these, or what's your opinion on it?
I'd say my opinion is during right now, 8% consider, because I mean, 3 months ago, I stopped collections during April and May just because of the circumstances of people's well-being. I didn't think it was right to send them, stuff when they didn't have a job. I'd like to see how this plays out over the next few months, month or two, just to see if that number comes up and if that 156 changes at all. Because if it doesn't change very much over the next 2 months, I'd say I'd like to look into something different.
And then you said that the money that is collected, the 156, there's a fee on top of that.
Correct.
$1 a day.
Correct.
How much is that?
The fee?
Is it a percentage of the collection?
It's a percentage of the collection. It's not a set amount.
So in that system, is there any way to tell what we paid them last year
Yes.
when we weren't in a pandemic?
Yes.
Is there a way to tell how much our collection rate was last year when we weren't in a pandemic?
Rate, no. Amount, yes. Which, I can figure out your rate by doing the math, but it's not just going to pump out a number for me.
Okay.
Have you talked to any other companies?
No.
Nick? Could you reach out to some and
Absolutely.
try to get a feel on
Mm-hmm.
what you can come up with?
Yep.
Does Jim have somebody he recommends?
I'm not sure. I think Jim recommends who we have, if I'm not mistaken, because he references.
I was thinking that was the recommendation some time ago, or that was my question whenever Jim came down.
He gets a lot of.
We met with Jim, he kind of explained what he was doing, and then we talked about collections, and I was thinking he had something to do with, or he recommended the company that we use.
Yeah, they work pretty hand in hand, because the collection company knows the people that work for ABS by name, so
Right.
I'd say that's not common in most cases.
Anything else?
I've got nothing.
Appreciate your work.
Yep.
I think that what Nick ought to try to do is talk to some people and see if they can come in and talk to us.
Before I ask him,
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I'd like for him to come in and just give us numbers or...
Nick, do you feel like right now, under the situation, it would be beneficial to do that?
I'd rather wait a month or two.
That's,
To see what's going to happen with this. If this stuff spikes again, the same stuff we went through in April is going to happen in September.
well, I think as time goes on, we're going to have more of an idea of,
And, I can compare to what it was last year and see if we're above or below, and if we're above, obviously we're making progress. So then I think we can continue on with the
right.
calls or having someone come in and talk or whatever you'd like to do. Take some time to run some of those reports, just because I have to get some directly from them, some I can. Usually it's a 3 to 4 day response. Just to get the numbers I need to get you the numbers you need.
Thank you.
I would kind of like to know how this collection agency, what they actually do to try to collect. I think it's something that, because every collection agency is different. And how aggressive are they collecting, or are they even just, are they just sending out letters, or what they're doing?
Well, I don't know if it's changed this year or not. What they've done was to call, send a letter, and at that point, I think it was 3 times, and then they dropped it, is the way we were doing it, which wasn't, maybe the same as the business world, but that's the way they was operating. And we had chose, in a death situation, it pretty well got dropped, and we wasn't going after that. And I think typical of what they've done, they did try to make payments, and I don't know if anybody were using that.
There's some people that are in an active payment plan right
Yeah.
now. I will say that I have accepted any of the negotiations of the lump sum, as long as they've been over 50%.
Yeah.
Better than sitting there at a 0.5 account. So anything that's been over a 50% collection, that would pretty much make us whole on our end, because I can review the account of where it went and everything. Anything that would have at least made us whole or more, I've accepted the negotiation.
Have you talked to that company? Yeah. I don't know if we could do a virtual meeting. Would that be okay, Rondell?
I can get with Scott.
I would just like to, at least, I could talk to them over the phone.
No, that's fine.
Just to see what they're doing, how aggressive they are. Because I think a lot of it's going to be based on the fact that this is the income in the community is not theirs, so I think, in all honesty, it doesn't matter what we do or what they do, it's going to be within a 1 or 2% of what's there. But even getting 1 or 2% more of $1.7 million is a lot of money. So that's kind of what I'm looking at.
I do want to see if you can, where are they out of? Andy, Thomas? Andy. Would you want to see, I don't know if they would be willing to come to our next meeting or call, whichever way we can do it, and let them explain to us how that works, what it's based on, how they're doing it. We done that about 4 or 5 years ago when they come down. We was out at the old government building. I don't think nothing's ever been changed since then. So, if you don't care, Nick, appreciate it. Note that in the minutes that we'll ask that. Anything else?
I do want to thank again everybody for servicing the county and your job well done. I've had a lot of good compliments. I talked to the nursing homes again myself the other day. Well, I say the other day, time gets about a month ago, and they were very well pleased. So thank you.
Likewise, we're all feeling that way. Appreciate your work. Need a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Rondell's made a motion. Need a second?
A second.
What did you want to ask anybody if they had anything out there? Or?
Anybody have anything out there? Mike Spurgeon, you don't have nothing? You ain't gonna get no takers around this table.
So my motion is to adjourn.
Okay, I had a motion with Rondell and a second by
Karen.
Karen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.